Alright, today we're in Gladstone up at James River State Park, and we're going to attempt to show you guys how to set up the universal annex on the M55. So this is the bag that it comes in, nice carrying case. It's got two clasps that hold it together. Unzip it. And you got the back doors, the back panels that go towards the vehicle. You've got the floor, which once we get everything set up, I'll show you where it Velcros on, but it basically just lays down on the ground, Velcros around the perimeter of the walls. And then we have the annex itself, guidelines and stakes, and then these are the poles. And this would be the other rear door. So now that we've got it unpacked, this is basically the annex itself. I've got the poles and everything else off to the side. So I'll show you how we unfold this. You just untie these real quick. My assistant's going to grab these here quick. And then you got to try to remember how the heck you rolled it up the last time. Fold it just like this. Alright, so right now we actually have it inside out. That's the front panel. These are the upper panels. I'll show you how I know that here in just a second. This is actually, take that back, this is the door. And what you're looking for are these round eyelet clips right here. So we want to find these because these are going to attach to the tent. Right now we have the annex actually turned inside out, and we're doing this on purpose to show you guys actually how this goes together, because once you kind of get it hanging, it's a little difficult to see inside. So right here, these loops are Velcro, and just like your regular ground tent, there's a pocket that this rod's going to slide through. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. We're going to run the rod through this pocket here. It's going to come out the other side. We're going to bend the poles down and pull them into these Velcro pieces. And then at the bottom, you'll see it's got this tether strap that runs between the two sides of the poles. And it's got these pins. And just like a conventional tent, the rod's going to sit down on this pin, and that's what's going to hold the rod in place. So now you can see we have the pole inserted into the pin. It's Velcroed into place, and then up here runs through the sleeve. You can see the bend in the pole. So basically those bends are going to be the corners, and it runs around and does the exact same thing on that side. Alright, so now we've got the pole in, we flip the annex back around, and what you need to locate is there's going to be 4 of these clips. Here's 3 of them on the outside, and there's actually going to be 2 that are side by side. Those 2 are going to clip on to this bow right here, and this pole that braces it will be right in the center and leave just enough room for both these to go on. So you'll pull these up, clip them on just like that, find the one through the corner, and you pull it over, and you clip on this corner right here. Same thing with the other side. Just like that. This right here is the plane that you just latch your clasps to with your tethers. And what we're going to do is we're going to let this hang, and I'm going to pull up on the drawstrings. I'm going to pull them tight. And I pull them all the way up to the bar. Okay, so now that that's drawn up, you see these 2 hanging right here in the center. This is the center plane. These are going to come straight up, and they're going to attach to the main bar on the tent. Just like so. And before I do anything else, I'm going to pull these tight so that way it holds it up against that, and I can actually see what I'm doing with everything else. So as you can see, it's just a simple drawstring. And then typically what I do is I just tuck them over the top of the tent, just like so. And then you continue clipping these around the perimeter of that bar, and I'll get them clipped in. So here we are back in the center, and you can see where I've got these clipped around. That's how they go on, and they're around the perimeter, and I've got them drawn in just like that. And same thing on the other side. And then, like I said, I just tuck the excess strap on the other side of the tent, just let it lay underneath the rain fly. Right, so now we've got it standing on its own, and we've got it staked down here in the bottom corners on both sides of the door. And you'll notice that it's got these lines that are tied into the side, and then they come down a guide line right here that you can adjust, pull tension on it, and set that up. So the first thing you want to do after you set your clips all the way around the top of it is you want to stake the two front corners down here and down there. And what's going to happen is that bow is going to want to lean towards your vehicle. And you use these guide lines right here to pull that whole bow assembly into the upright position. So now that it's sitting in that position, I'll show you where we can put the next stake. Alright, so about halfway back you'll see another stake. And it kind of comes at a little bit of an angle from the front one. It doesn't come straight back towards the vehicle. And if Jennifer would grab me one of those rubber straps off the bench there. Now these tie in. We're going to do a camera swap here real quick. These tie in on the back here, and along the back of this wall or this panel here, you'll see these little hooks. And these are going to go through here, and then your stake is going to go through the hole to tie that down. There's one there, and there's one here. Now this is for the back walls, and we don't typically use those, so we usually just use this corner right here, and we stake this side down. So it goes just like that, and then I pull it at a little bit of an angle. It usually ends up underneath the vehicle, just like so. And then you can actually pull this one back out and tension this up a little bit more, just like this. And that kind of makes your side. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, and then this right here I just kind of flip in. If you're using the walls, you would zip that in, and then you can stake the walls down from the inside, and then your floor just lays in there and it velcros around the inside. And we'll show you that here. All right. So the tent, or the annex, is all set up now. It's erected, and the next step, what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn the door in the annex into an awning, and it comes with these other poles. And those of you who have a fox wing probably recognize these. They're pretty much the exact same thing. So I'm going to set these down right here, and then you got two guide lines. And what you do is you unzip the door. And it's got little Velcro catches every couple inches. Just like this. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. This is one of the nicest features of this annex. Alright, so now I'm going to take a pole and a guide line and extend the pole. Okay, so grab the door, and if you want to get a close-up of this, they've got these little brass eyelets in them. So the post goes through that like that, and then at the one end I have a little loop tied. Just slide that over the top of that, set your post, bring this over, and it's going to be a little wobbly at first until you get the other one set up. But you can set your slack on it. If I can find a spot. We're kind of set up on a stone walkway right here. So what I'm going to do is just draw a little bit of tension on that. Okay. Just like that. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other side here. straighten your poles up. And now you've got a dedicated awning off the front of your Annex. And if it starts raining, you can take it down, but the other thing that you can do with it is you can actually shorten one side, just like this, and we'll actually, and then pull more slack or more tension on this, and it will actually allow the water to shed off the side of it. Put that back up, and we'll give you guys a tour of the inside here real quick. Actually, come over to the side here, and we'll show you how the windows open on it. So this is the universal. It's got two triangular shaped windows here and there. They just unzip from the inside. The outsides have two panels. So you've got one here and one on the other side. They're Velcroed just like that, just like the door. So you unzip that all the way up. Same thing on this side. All the way up. And then typically you would want to roll it inside like this to keep, you know, just in case you do get a sprinkle. But I actually like to go the other way, and I'll show you why here. Something we figured out. You can actually roll it this way, and it's got Velcro right there. And if you get yourself like a chip clip or something like that, you can actually shade the inside of it while still having airflow through. But if you open them all the way, come all the way up to the top just like this, you'll find these little Velcro loops. Go through, just like that. And just like that. And then we'll come around to the inside here. We'll show you guys the inside windows. The other thing to note on these guidelines, both for the poles and for the Annex itself, see the little white dots? They're iridescent, so they do glow in the dark. These do the exact same thing. You roll them up just like so. And they have the exact same setup just like that. You got a pocket right here, pocket on this side as well, and I'm going to switch hands here. As you can see right down here, this is the Velcro that I was talking about that runs the entire perimeter of the tent, or the Annex. And this is where your floor would lay in here, and then the outside edge of it just kind of sticks on there just like that. And then you can see these hooks right here. You can see this is the one I staked down to down here. There's another one right here you can stake down as well. And you can tie your back walls into it. Your back walls actually zip into it right here. And then it's got these rubber attachment points as well that you can use right there. So that being said, you can see how much more room that actually gives you now with the universal Annex installed. If you wanted to, you could install the back walls, you could put the floor in, and you could actually make this into a makeshift tent. So you could actually bring a lot more people with you. So if you've got friends coming with you and you're driving another vehicle, this is a viable spot for them to camp. Throw a couple cots in here, sleeping pads, whatever have you, and you know, it's a nice deal. But you can actually fit I think we have what, a 6-foot card table?
We have a 5-foot.
5-foot table. There's enough room to actually set that up in here lengthwise, and you can actually put camp chairs all the way around it. You can actually have dinner in here, so it's a really cool option. You can hang lights. We usually use the light pods from the Ready Lights. We hang them on the tent, stick them to the side of the truck, and gives us extra reading light in here. Really comes in handy on a hot sunny day like today, and also extremely handy when it's raining. So hope you guys find this video useful. I'm sorry it's kind of cutting back and forth, but there's not really an easy way to shoot it, you know, without breaking back and forth and, you know, trying to give you guys close-ups on it. So
the only other thing to keep in mind is, back to what Jeremy's saying, is if you use this as an extra sleeping space, is it's not completely weatherproof because your walls only go up to here.
Yeah, so
you'll have your elements up there.
So you will have this open, and Jennifer and I actually talked about using this over winter. And one of the things that we discussed doing is actually taking our winter jackets and stuffing them in the holes right there, and that'll kind of block it out. Because what we like to do in wintertime is set up an Annex, and then down on the floor, usually in like this area over here, far enough away from the Annex walls, we'll set up a little buddy heater. And a little buddy heater is good enough to keep this area warm. And the really nice thing about it is you can either leave your door open on your tent or just leave the screen open on the door, and heat rises and it goes right inside the tent. You don't have to worry about burning anything down or anything like that. Your propane tank can stay on the outside of the Annex, and it's a viable option for winter camping with the 3-season tent. We did it last season at Harper's Ferry last March in our medium canopy right there with the Annex on it, and it worked excellent. So just another way for you guys to use it. That's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or leave a comment on YouTube. If you like these videos, please click the like button and please subscribe so we know that you guys are enjoying them and you're finding them useful, and we'll keep making them.